Hey, Walt Disney World fans and readers of the Disney blog. I wanted to introduce a new type of video for you today. We will be stitching together a bunch of former Facebook Lives that are all walkthroughs of Disney's Hollywood Studios. The idea here is you can put this on in the background, watch Disney's Hollywood Studios, stream by on your TV screen, maybe turn off the volume if you don't want to listen to me speak, but give you a little bit of the Disney magic, even though you might be far away from Orlando. So let me know in the comments if you like this style of video. If you do, I will make more. So at Disney's Hollywood Studios today, obviously, and beautiful, beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's in the upper 70s, slight breeze, pretty much perfect theme park weather. Couldn't ask for anything better. Now, I had my lunch already today, and my new favorite quick service item is the vegan lobster roll over at Rosie's All-American Cafe. I'll be writing a review of that on the blog shortly, but 100% recommend, even if you're not a vegan. If you like, lobster rolls or shrimp rolls or, Old Bay seasoning in general, this is just hearts of palm. It's vegetarian, there's no meat in it, but if you like a nice hearts of palm salad on a lobster roll, this is really good. Considering I like all those things separately, I like them together as well. And the price isn't bad either, so it's I think it's $11. So going through the gate here into Animation Courtyard, which is really not very busy anymore because the only thing that's open in here is Disney Junior Dance Party. Everything else is closed.
It looks like it's still nice.
But you can go into Walt Disney Presents, and for the time being, see One Man's Dream, plus all the usual exhibits that are there. And I did notice that they changed the exhibit for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They still have the ship for Rise of Resistance and the model of the Millennium Falcon and the little area of Black Spire Outpost. But they've added an AT&T model, AT-AT. How the bleep do you pronounce that? What do you say? I guess AT-AT is what I've said my whole life, so I'll go with AT-AT. And it's one that they actually used when they were modeling the ride, because if you look on the side of it, there's like a little cutout missing for where you would see the actual stormtrooper in the attraction. So that's pretty cool. I don't want to say too much more if you haven't been on the ride, because spoilers, but I'll put something up either on probably on the social accounts later. The line just past the start of the line for Slinky Dog Dash, by the way, says 60 minutes, comes all the way out past the entrance of Toy Story Land, and the line for Toy Story Midway Mania goes all the way and winds through Munisburg, which doesn't have no character meet greets in it right now, and it says 40 minutes. So the nice thing about socially distanced lines is that they tend to move pretty quick, but you do have to make sure you find the start of them. So here's a little thing I found about Hollywood Studios too in the midweek. If you stay towards later in the afternoon, all of these lines go down quite a bit because most people get here early. They're trying to get on Rise of the Resistance, and then those that have Rise of the Resistance hang out until the number is called, or those that don't typically hang out till about 1 o'clock, and if they can't get Rise of the Resistance then they go park hop somewhere else or go back to the hotel or whatever they do. So the park does thin out a little bit after 2 p.m. All right, so take a quick pause here and see, looking at this gray building, not very exciting, but inside that will be Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue or something close to that. I'm forgetting the exact name. And I believe they paused construction on that.
Hey, whatever you guys want. You see Slinky Dog, tell him Woody says howdy.
Yeah, they paused construction on that, I believe, during the during the pandemic while the parks were closed, and they've been slow in getting back to it. But my understanding is they've pulled a few permits recently, and maybe they're going to work on some exterior signage. But here's the concept art if you haven't seen it. And then here's what the sign's going to look like. So, nothing too exciting.
Hang on, Rex! Jesse is here for you!
Bye, Slinky Dog. But once we do get back to the time where you feel comfortable sitting indoors and dining on the regular again, it'll be very nice to have an air-conditioned place to eat inside Toy Story Land. So 100% looking forward to that. And barbecue food is definitely something that Disney's Hollywood Studios doesn't have right now, so adding that would be a great addition. All right. Look, it's the Pixar ball. Slinky Dog Dash is running, which is great. And if you look, they are filling in all the rows, which they've started to do on all attractions that are outdoors, which I think is fine. That makes sense to me. If everybody's masked, being sanitized, and you're outdoors, it's okay to not have a barrier or 6 feet between you and the other person for that temporary period of time. But otherwise, I do recommend socially distancing. Hey, George. Yeah, it's fun. It's a really good day to be here. So I just I love Toy Story Land. It's make that whole pretend you're small thing, I guess, just really works for me. It works for me in the Bugs Land over at California Adventure, and it works for me here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Sadly, Bugs Land is gone, so this is as close as you're going to get for now. But just feel like you're a toy, which is always a fun feeling to have when you're in a Disney theme park. All right. Alien swirling saucers, often affectionately called by its acronym. Now, they don't currently have a parade at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but may I humbly submit a suggestion for the world's shortest theme park parade. They could start at this gate right here that goes backstage out to the main road that goes around Disney's Hollywood Studios, and they could just go right across here to that gate, which goes to the backstage area of Toy Story Mania, and around over to the Star Tours area. So just, a 50-foot parade, but they could say they had a parade and they could put it in the tour guides. They could probably rope off part of it and charge extra admission for, like, we'll bring food to you for the parade. No, in all seriousness, I do hope that is something that Hollywood Studios addresses in the future, is figuring out a good performance corridor that doesn't disrupt the flow of traffic too much in the park, but allows them to have the good size and the high technology floats that we like. So imagine a nighttime trio of Fantasmic, the projection show up on the I almost said great movie ride, the Chinese theater, and then a parade during the day. So you got daytime stuff and nighttime stuff. Why not? I think they should do it for the 50th anniversary. I know it's right around the corner, but I'm sure they've got cars and floats and stuff hanging around backstage somewhere. So we made it to Star Wars Land, or Batu, or Black Spire Outpost, or I don't know what you want to call it. We're over here in one of the not very frequently visited parts of the land because it's shady. And I just really enjoy the landscaping in this area. I mean, this isn't like Pandora. None of these are fake plants. These are all real plants, and yet it still feels otherworldly, like you're on some other planet somewhere. They've just done a really good job mixing different types of plants that are unusual combinations you don't typically see together, or have strange leaves. And look at this little one with a little flower sticking up there, getting ready to send its pollen off to other flowers and create little baby flowers. Circle of life, everybody. All right, so let's go take a quick tour, see if they'll let us in the store. If this is I think this is the exit. They're gonna let us in. That's the biggest mistake they've ever made. All right, so nothing too new actually. You can buy, this is if your kid wants a droid but you can't afford the full-size droid. They do have the smaller wind-up toys in here, which is fun. For mom and dad, they have an apron for the kitchen and different R2-D2 themed kitchen utensils, which I like. And they have these bend and build sculptures, and somebody's made a set of them up here. And I love L337, and I just got that joke. Oh my god, the 1990s hacker wannabe in me just got the joke of L337. If you're not familiar with hacker speak, that is code for elite or elite. The 3's substituting as E's and the 7 substituting as a T. I am slow. I am old and slow. I should probably be decommissioned at this point. But then over here in the rest of the factory, I have not actually done this. I want to, but look, if you remember not Toy Story Land, Mickey's Toontown over in Disneyland. Remember they used to have this go around up above the main store there, and it stopped working like forever ago and they never fixed it. But here in the droid store, you can see it in action again. Matter of fact, didn't they also have it in the Star Tours queue? You can spend a ton of time in here just looking at all the various parts, the IG assassin droids, football tributes, all sorts of different things. And then you just come over here and you pick what you want to assemble your droid. It tells you which parts you need. You choose the colors and the combination for the different types of droids. And the price is $99 or $65, depending on what accessories you get. So, not cheap, but if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind souvenir that you designed yourself, this is where you have to go. Alright, the Droid Depot. Just looking to see if I see anything new, and I don't really see anything new. So, I do recommend picking up one of these bags, though. If you're going to get a droid, pick up one of these bags so you can carry it around with you, because you're not allowed to use it inside the park. You can carry it, but you can't play with it here. You can still interact with it if it's in the bag, but it won't be rolling around. Alright, let's head out, make like a baby and head out. Got a little fighter pilot there. Now over here is Savvy's workshop, which I hear, if you ask politely, they might let you into their secret resistance room and you can build a laser sword like one of the Jedi of yore. My son did it. He really loved it. You can see the video on our YouTube channel, and he still pulls that laser sword out and brings it with him here, and especially when we know we're going to be here after dark, and some really good photo opportunities to pose in various places. So I do just kind of like this courtyard. They should put like a bar here and serve blue milk. Alright, that's on the other side. Okay, so when you exit, this is the exit, the Salvi's workshop over here. So in a few minutes, another dozen or so happy customers are going to come out with their own laser swords. Sorry, lightsaber. Let's go take a peek over at Millennium Falcon. Oh, here's Uga's, which also has a virtual waitlist. So if you don't want to build your own lightsaber, you can buy a legacy lightsaber, which is a lightsaber that looks like a film-used lightsaber. So that's pretty cool. So also over here is one of my fun spots. Oh, they've added a little theming. This little area here is blocked off so you can get the Zoom photo for your photo pass. But they've added some sample food that you might find inside Docking Bay 7. Doesn't that look appetizing? I don't know. So, fruits, some sort of vegetables, and then of course the Millennium Falcon. If you're brave enough to fly in this thing, you're brave enough to go on Smuggler's Run. Now, I hear Chewie and Rey still sometimes come and hang out in this area, but like everybody else, they're keeping socially distant. So you're more likely to find them over at the land speeder workshop area. And then they still says they have the Felucian kefta, which are these Impossible Burger meatballs. It is part of their plant-based food offerings. I 100% recommend it. But I do also understand that they added a kids meal, or they've had the kids meal with pasta and ragu with Impossible meat in it. But you can also now order that in adult size. So if you're doing a plant-based diet, this is pretty much my favorite place to come in Hollywood Studios now. And now there's a second option. If you're not doing a plant-based diet, my son has tried the chicken tip-yip, really like that. My wife likes the batu and beef pot roast. And last time my son was here, he had the kaidu pork ribs and said that's his new favorite thing. So lots of good options here. All right, let's wander on over to Rise of the Resistance now and see if my boarding pass number is ready. It was pretty darn close when I logged on. Now, this was always intended to be a walkthrough, but with the pandemic, they're limiting how many people can be in the store shopping area, and so they just added more tables to this. So more people are visiting and eating at Ronto's wraps now than ever before, which, you know, I've never had one because they don't have a plant-based option here, but the people that have said they're very good, and they recommend it as a good low-cost option. But You know, I think of all the lands that Disney's Imagineers have built, this is by far the most detailed and the most story immersive that I've experienced, at least. Which I haven't been to France or Asia, so I haven't seen any of the non-American parts. But from the audio cues to the use of the foreign language and kind of the otherworldly objects and horticulture plants, I just think they've really done a fantastic job. So can't beat it. I'm in a little bit of a. I mean, look at those cliffs, created entirely by human hands, and a machine that bends rebar into the shape of rocks. But you get my picture. Definitely feel transported to another planet. All right, we're leaving Black Spire Outpost and heading to the old outpost on Batu. And I hear there's some resistance activity over here. So keep your eyes open unless you want to be, if you want to be added to the resistance, there may be an opportunity for you. All right, let's go see if they have posted my number yet. They have it over here on this little blue sign to the left of the entrance. So you have to like get pretty close to see it. Right now it says boarding 90 through 104 and I'm 105. So I just have to hang out another minute or so. Let's go over here and sniff out the merchandise. And I'll tell you a little bit of trivia about this blue X-Wing over here. If you haven't heard, there's this show on Disney Plus called The Mandalorian. It's kind of popular. You know, has Baby Yoda, aka Grogu. And in the second season, they encounter these blue X-Wings.
Yeah, it's the pop top.
And so the show needed one for filming, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge wasn't open yet, and this wasn't shipped out here, so they just grabbed it, and they used this exact one right here for the filming, and then they brought it over here. So this is a film-ready prop. I think that's pretty cool. So first, this will look familiar. It's the entrance to Rock Your Roller Coaster, headquartered in G-Force Records. And the standby queue is long today, 85 minutes. And then if you've been here frequently, you'll notice something different. They moved the Fast Pass. So the Fast Pass used to be on the far right, where the single rider entrance is now. But they moved it, they switched places, so the Fast Pass enters on the left. And the reason for that is they are adding a Cars attraction over here at the Hollywood Sunset Showcase. So they've getting ready to open this up. They've taken down the fence, the gate that used to be the in and out gate for cast members. And you'll soon be able to go in and see Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy inside Sunset Showcase. And then while I was in the queue for Rock and Roller Coaster, I had a peek over the wall, which is nice. Getting some good vent speech. And as I suspected, they are moving the meet and greet with Cruz Martinez, who was the yellow racing car from Cars 3. And so that'll be out in front. So you'll be able to go inside, see Mater and Sally, and of course Lightning McQueen. And outside you'll get to have your picture taken with Cruz Martinez. So I think this is going to be pretty popular. Cars franchise is still a big hit with the kids, and Disney's Hollywood Studios could definitely use another attraction for the younger set here in the park, especially considering both the attractions in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge are not going to be height friendly for the youngest kids. Although we heard in Millennium Falcon, you might be able to get on that as low as 36 inches, similar to Star Tours. So we'll find out here in a minute. All right, so now gonna start walking, making my way across the park as Disney's Hollywood Studios is preparing to celebrate its 30th anniversary coming up in May. They've started to decorate the park, and want to keep our eyes open for some of those little touches they've begun to add. One of the things they've been adding is a little more capacity to the food service in the park. So what used to be a smoking area over here to the right is now additional seating for Fairfax Fair. So that's a recent change. I don't know where they moved the smoking to, but it's around here somewhere. Oh, I think it's over behind Tower of Terror. Their seating is open for the next showing in the Theater of the Stars. That's Beauty and the Beast. Now, I keep hearing persistent rumors that Disney might move another musical in there, which would be interesting. I know that fans have been crying to have Tangled the musical in there for a while. Which is a Disney cruise ship show, so you can see a Tangled musical right now if you book the right Disney cruise itinerary. If you have other ideas, definitely let us know in the comments. What Disney movie musical would you like to see added as a show in a Disney theme park? All right, we're gonna go inside the store here briefly. So we do have Celebrate Mickey merchandise. That's a big theme at both the parks. I do like this little Mickey's 90th baseball cap with the Mickey ears there. I like to wear Mickey ears too. But those traditional Mickey Mouse ears just don't fit my big head. I need a baseball cap. And of course, these are already really popular throughout the parks. The donut Minnie Mouse ears. So there's another big change here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The Planet Hollywood store has closed, which was a little bit of a shock. But to be honest, I don't think I've ever bought anything there. And I don't remember seeing many people buy anything there either. So they've already said Legends of Hollywood, special showtime. So well, all the signage is gone. And they've added posters here on the outside. Now playing Gone with the Wind. That would be really cool. All right, so of the 4 people on the poster here, Clark Gable, Vivian Lee, Leslie Howard, and Olivia de Havilland, which one of those 4 is still alive? It's a little bit of trivia question for you there. That's right, it's Olivia de Havilland, who is famously filing a lawsuit versus FX because she thinks they made her look bad in that miniseries. Now, if you haven't been to Disney's Hollywood Studios recently, you may not know that Beverly Sunset is now a boutique instead of a bakery. So they don't have the candies and the breads and the candied apples and the, my favorite, the carrot cake sandwich, which makes me sad. But it's a Toy Story store with Pixar toys and a couple other movies. I think Monsters Inc. is in there. Which I think it's a waste of space. I don't see nearly as many people there to buy t-shirts and plush as I did to see cupcakes and cotton candy. So. Oh, it's Disney After Hours tonight at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So, I don't know if you've had a chance to take advantage of one of the After Hours events. You just show up and they put a little half-hour margin between when the park closes to clear people out of the queues, and then you can go in on any of the rides with zero or very little wait. It is an extra charge, but if you want to just come and ride the big rides over and over again, the after-hours events are the best events for that. So they've had them at Hollywood Studios, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and the Magic Kingdom. And I've done Animal Kingdoms and the Magic Kingdoms, and those were both great. So, passing by the Hyperion Theater, where Frozen is playing, where they retell the story of Frozen, which is a fun experience. It's very funny. The two hosts are, they definitely have a good rapport, and the script has a lot of funny jokes in it. So parents don't feel like they're just going to go in there and sing Let It Go for 45 minutes. They only sing that for 35 minutes. The other 10 minutes or something else. I'm just kidding. So, getting close to Star Tours here. But before we go on Star Tours, I want to go down, take a look at the Grand Avenue section, which is the newest section of Disney's Hollywood Studios. After Toy Story Land, or about the same time as Toy Story Land, where they've made a few changes recently. So, Path of the Jedi, I'm sorry to inform you, is not playing today. So you don't get to learn about how Luke Skywalker came to have his father's lightsaber. Hi, Janet. From Virginia. You guys are a bit of a mess up there right now, aren't you? Get things straightened out. Oh, look, only 20 minutes to visit Olaf. On the other hand, it's nice to have the attention taken off Florida for a little while. We're usually the state that deservedly gets all the bad attention. So, made it to Star Tours, and there's a Jedi Academy Trials of the Temple going on right now. Uh-oh.
What you have learned from
Yoda
your
is
master,
about to do some
your
whoop ass.
students must learn from you. Well then, now ready for this lesson.
All right. So, looks like they're doing a little construction across the exit from Star Tours. So, that photo opportunity with the speeder bike may be gone forever. I don't know. We'll find out when these walls go down. But what is new is the new vacation club here, which is meant to be a representative of Little Chinatown in Los Angeles. So which in Los Angeles is adjacent to the Grand Avenue area. So you can see how that fits in thematically. Across the way over here, next outside the entrance of Sci-Fi Dine-In was where the old Disney Vacation Club booth was. But as you might guess, they're expecting huge crowds for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So they're widening the walkways as much as they can, getting planters and benches out of the middle of the streets to make room for everybody who's going to be coming here. Now, it is going to open at Disneyland first, so they may get more crowds than we do here, but I have a suspicion the waits are going to be very, very, very long just to get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So you'll definitely want to book a room on Disney World property if you at all can, to take advantage of early fast pass reservations and early admission to the parks, which they probably will have, so on at least a couple days. So heading down towards the tunnel, that will be the portal to the Planet Batuu, and on this side of the Black Spire Outpost is the Resistance Camp, where you will go to Star Wars, one of the two big attractions, which is Flight Resistance. Oh, I already forgot the name. Something Resistance. Brain fade. Anyway, so you'll come in, you'll go through a cave, you'll come out onto the planet, and then on your left there'll be these giant cliffs and a camp, Resistance Camp, where you'll be able to go in and sneak through the caves with some Resistance fighters, and you'll get loaded up on a secret mission, and then you'll get captured by the First Order and taken into a First Order starship where you'll have to escape back to the surface of the planet. Sounds really thrilling. Multifaceted attraction with multiple stages and ride experiences that in theory is supposed to take you 28 minutes to get through the whole thing. So I'm pretty excited about that. Then on the other side if you keep walking through, you'll go to the Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, and this will be kind of how it will look when you get there. So you'll see a full-size version of the Millennium Falcon. There'll be droids and First Order stormtroopers and officers around the area in the spaceport, and it will be your job to go on a special smuggling mission with the pirate Hondo, who will recruit you because he's borrowed the ship from Chewbacca with Chewbacca's permission, of course, although what Chewbacca doesn't know won't hurt him, as I'm told. And then you will get the chance to pilot the Millennium Falcon on a special smuggler's mission, and how your actions in the cockpit will affect the success or failure of the mission. And as you walk through the land, you might find out, after you complete your mission, you may find out that somebody knows what you were doing and knows whether you were successful or not. And if you're successful, your reputation might follow you, and you may have another encounter with the First Order. So there's so much level of depth and detail in this land that you really can't compare it to any other attraction that Disney's Imagineers have built before. So it's even just really hard to describe it to you. But definitely looking forward to this opening. It'll be in June of this year in Disneyland, and I'm hearing as soon as October or November here out in Disney's Hollywood Studios. But you're on your own if you're booking hotel rooms in October and expecting to get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Much safer bet will be December or January of 2020. And, give them a couple weeks to work the kinks out, too. So, because definitely at the opening of Pandora, there were definitely a few kinks that had to be worked out. If you remember, Avatar Flight of Passage was continually closing from overheating, so It's not happening anymore. They've worked out those kinks. All right. I'm gonna go briefly around the corner into Muppet Courtyard, the section that they're calling Grand Park. Oh, look. We have some Buzz Lightyear ears. I haven't seen those before. Really cute. And some, I think, Mardi Gras ears. Now, I don't know if you've been reading the Disney blog recently, but I just posted about a rumor that the Muppet Show might be coming back to TV, but not ABC or not even the Disney Channel. It might come to Disney Plus, which is Disney's new direct-to-consumer streaming service. So think Epcot or Hulu, but with Disney content. So, and I hear that Josh Gad is one of the people working on bringing that back to reality, and he's got I think he has that quirky sense of humor, you know, an adult. It's got a little bit of an adult angle to it, but also kid friendly. So I think that could definitely work, and I hope it takes off because I'd love to see an update to Muppet Vision 3D. I know, don't at me. Lots of people cherish that and they don't want it ruined, but I think there's definitely an opportunity there to revisit the Muppets here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Where this fountain is, I'd love to see a Muppet-themed spinner attraction, just to give another kid-friendly attraction here to the park. Low cost. Disney's Hollywood Studios does not have a spinner attraction right now, so it would fill a product need. So, anyways, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Now, if you're hungry for some pizza, don't come to Pizza Rizzo because it is only operating during the busiest seasons now, and even though the park is pretty crowded today, it's not super crowded, so it's not open. So if you want pizza, you're going to have to go to Catalina Eddie's. Sorry, but those are the facts. All right, I'm getting ready to wrap up here. It's about time for my fast pass over at Star Tours. I'm going to work my way over there. Now, any longtime fans of Disney's Hollywood Studios will remember the Osborne family spectacle of dancing lights. And these facades right here are the last remaining part of New York Street. So I don't think it's big enough to bring back that festival, but I do think that Disney's done a pretty decent job here with the Christmas season. If you haven't been to Disney's Hollywood Studios for Christmas, you definitely should plan to come here. And why not this year with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge added to the mix? Hi, Elaine. Yeah, you know, it is a little busy. 90 minutes to get on Rock and Roller Coaster, but that's not super busy. I've seen that 120 minutes before. And the single rider line, I was talking to the gentleman that got in the car with me. He only waited 45 minutes, so not too bad actually. Let's go look at the waits for Star Tours, and then I'll sign off. So they are using the exterior queue quite a bit for Star Tours. So what I want to know is, what do you think they should do with the outside of Star Tours? Should they leave it like it is, where it's still kind of a movie set? Or should they change it, make it something more thematically appropriate with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge? Now, there's no way they're going to be able to attach it to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but maybe. All right, so 35 minutes standby. That's not too bad, actually. Huh?
It actually would tell us if you missed it. It wouldn't just skip over to the next one. It would tell us, do you want to go again?
I want to buy something.
For the fast passes? Yes. Do you guys want to go again?
No, that I hate that.
Okay.
It makes me.
Okay, you have 9 cards here. Scan again. Okay, well that's the one that says Indiana Jones. You have 9 cards on it.
All right. No Jedi training going on right now. But I'm going to lose the signal. So I'm going to sign off here. All right, let's go for a quick walk around the land. It's got a very long queue for Slinky Dog Dash, as you would expect. And there's a nice little exit queue area here where you can stand and watch the cars go around the track. Here comes one now. Lots of people working here today, doing interviews and getting to hang out with characters and Imagineers and all sorts of fun stuff like that. Look, there's Tim Tracker. I'll show you a little secret of Slinky Dog Dash. So if you come up here to the entrance and you are trying to decide what you want to do, and you happen to go in the standby line, be sure to turn around and look up above you when you go in, because the standby entrance time sign is actually Buster's name tag. So it's a little hard to see because of the lighting, but so 234 Elm Street was Andy's address. So as we exit the Slinky Dash area and come into Toy Story Land proper, it's going to be this beautiful at night with these Christmas tree lights overhead of the Tinker Toys. And of course the Green Army men are ever present, working their mischief here in Toy Story Land. Look, it's a pineapple. Andy is very, very creative. And look, if you grew up in the 60s or 70s like me, you're going to remember the Fisher-Price family play camper. And here it is, but it has a merchandise store, so that's cool. You know, I'm going to head over to the entrance of the land a little later, so stick around and you'll see little merchandise display there. We're going to come over and take a look at the alien swirling saucers, which has an unfortunate acronym, but what you going to do? Imagineers, they be crazy. I love the details in this land. So like this little bench here that you can sit on and wait are dominoes. And these trees here, if you've been to Disneyland, it's a Small World mall. These trees will look really familiar to you, and these really fun cutout shapes there. So the entrance to Toy Story Land is right by the old entrance to Toy Story Midway Mania. So just head like you would be heading to Toy Story Midway Mania, and you'll find the entrance to Toy Story Land. Let's go over to the entrance here really quick. They're doing a little filming, so I don't know if they'll let us in, but got this giant Buzz Lightyear here in front of alien swirling saucers. And of course, there's if you look at all the details, keep your eyes out for various pizza icons because, you know, they were from Pizza Planet. So, do you see the pizzas? Ends of spears there and their shields. Pretty cool. They put a lot of thought and detail work into this, and then even the planet on the queue there. So, he talks. All right. I'm gonna get out of their shot right there, and we'll go over and we'll take a peek inside the attraction. And then we'll come back and look at one of the few air-conditioned areas of the land, the bathrooms. So stick around for that. You won't want to miss that exciting section. Pizza, mushroom, no pineapple. That's something wrong with that. All right, so if you've been to Disney California Adventure and you've been on Tow Mater's Junkyard Spin, then this will look familiar to you, only of course it is little alien cars. Give it a second. Looks like they're almost ready to go. See if you can spot the celebrity on the ride. Really does spin you around at a few points there. So there's two sides. This is just one side, and then there's a version of this over on the opposite side, but they're identical. Let's go check out the famous Toy Story Land restrooms. I'm not bringing you inside. You'll have to wait to get here yourself for that, but it's very funny that it's the game of cooties. And then, of course, there's a Sugar Frosted Lasso's cornflakes box on the other end down there. And Tinker Toys. Tinker Toys are everywhere. Far more Tinker Toys than fit in this box. Alright, so we can't go in here because it's an interview scene, but right here is Woody's Lunchbox, which has a pretty diverse menu. Slightly more adult than you might expect in a theme park for kids, but grilled sandwiches, adult beverages, ice cream floats, AJ yelling in the background.
Sorry, John. Sorry, John.
And look, it's got Tixie, the little order booth, or Tixie's Treats and Berry Bites. Very, very cute. And of course, there's the Woody's Roundup lunchbox. And it does feature mobile order, so avoid the lines, order ahead of time, and just walk right up and pick up whatever food you want. That's my recommendation. Don't tell anybody, though.
All right, again?
So I don't know if you can see it here, but if you look on the ground where everybody's rocking right now, you will see a giant footprint. Hi, Blake. Actually, no, it's not a soft opening. This is the media preview today and tomorrow morning. There may possibly be a soft opening tomorrow afternoon, but I'm not promising anything.
Just like in basic training, keep it moving, soldiers.
Stay right where you are.
Yes, sir. Excellent color there, sir.
And then I love the way the Slinky Dog track comes out almost right over the park here. Let's see if we can catch him in action. Here he goes. So it's been an amazing experience so far. And I think one of the things people were worried about is how much shade would there be at the Woody's Lunchbox, and there's a lot of shade. Almost every table has an umbrella, and there's this great shade structure there. But you're definitely not indoors, so you'll want to sit as near to a fan as you can without your food blowing away if it's really hot out like it is today. But and over here, there's a crowd of people standing in front of it right now, but it is the infamous Luxo Ball. So this is going to be it's right at the exit to Midway Mania, but it's going to be a very popular meeting point, I'm sure, and everybody will want their selfies with it. So I'm going to endeavor to find out how much it weighs later. I'll get back to you on that. So, the exit of Toy Story Midway Mania, the queue for Toy Story Midway Mania. I have an interview location here set up in front of the play box. They're still doing a little work in the queue, it looks like. And then here's the actual marquee. So it looks like a little play set here. We go in? Thanks. Yeah. Enjoy. So, in the queue here, got a little couple standouts. John Ratzenberger just walked by me, but they asked me not to film, so I didn't. That's why I was paused there for a minute. So that was pretty cool. I guess he's here to help dedicate the land tomorrow. I don't know. Oh, look. We go in the queue. So, got this really amazing play set here. And stars on the ceiling. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for joining us. And you kind of get the Midway feel here, so I like that a lot. So this is the reconfigured queue. So instead of entering through the old Pixar Studios location, recreation, you're going to enter through Toy Story Land, obviously. So they've moved the queue over here. It's similar. It's very similar. You know, we have Candyland game, Monopoly, various card games around, coloring books, cutouts, and of course, good old Etch-a-Sketch is back. can play a few games, and my guess is the new Disney Play mobile app is pretty useful in here.
Look, to get to the ride, it'll be through that green door to the right, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Check out the queue. So they haven't quite made the switch over yet. The ride is still technically loading for guests on the other side today, but looks like it's almost ready. So yeah, you can see. So you keep going through here. The old queue area is straight in front of us. Somehow I ended up on the wrong side of this because look who's there! Alright, I'm gonna go back around the other side and see if I can't get a better picture. So there's Mr. Potato Head. He's back in the queue. He's not working right now, so we'll just go take a quick look and then we'll go back outside. But let me tell you, it's nice and air conditioned in here, and it's 94 degrees outside and very humid today. So this is going to be a popular way to get out of the heat, I imagine. You may even want to skip Fast Pass and go for the 2-hour standby wait. Oh, look, he's moving. So, hi Jen, I do not know if guests will be allowed in tomorrow, but the 30th, sure. Alright, that's pretty cool. I'm excited to have Mr. Potato Head back in the queue. I don't know about you. I enjoy his jokes. Alright, a couple more people are coming up, so I'm going to go back outside even though this air conditioning is very nice.
Keep going or left?
You're gonna go to the right.
Okay.
And that'll be the standby queue, and if you want to go to the ride, it'll be through that green door. You're gonna take a ride.
So,
Yep, so right under the green door, take a ride.
Snake down here.
Good to see you.
I see you, yeah. All right, heading back out into the heat. Got one more thing I want to show you. Well, two more things. I want to show you the main entrance, which is where we're heading towards now. And then on our way, you're going to see the little area they have set up for the big dedication of the land tomorrow. So my guess is stroller parking land over here. Yep. Definitely a nice large area for strollers. Nice that they thought about some place to put strollers. Good thinking, Disney. So they're hiding the stage today, but behind the Andy Toys curtain there is the stage for the dedication. And over here to the right is a little riser they set up for media. When I say little, I mean little. It's about, I mean, it's big, but it's small for what I think they might need. So we'll see how that works. And we're almost out to the entrance. And there's only one way in and out of the land right now. So this is it. When Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens, you'll be able to see a lot more. But so here's Woody at the marquee. Don't want to walk in front of people filming.
¿Qué tal una foto desde aquí? Así no me les atravieso a ellos.
So there's somebody doing her intro, outro in front of the marquee right there. Hi, Jen. It's sorry, it's a little hard to read your stuff because I'm in the sunlight, but I'll get to that in a second, I hope. So, of course, as I was talking about the moon, it went behind the clouds. But what you gonna do? So I tried one of the new plant-based food options tonight. Actually, it's not new; it's been around. But it was ABC Commissary. You know, they're doing that new dinner thing where you put your order in, and then they give you a little pager to bring out to your table, and they bring your food to you. It's a slightly nicer experience. You get a little service. They'll clean up after you. You don't have to bust your own dishes. So that's nice. I will say though that I was not impressed with the French fries. I ordered the plant-based California burger. It's good. The burger is very good. They punched up the flavor than what their old Beyond Burger version was. So it's a little bit more spicy. Some extra onions and peppers in there, and a nice vegan mayo sriracha sauce. So I kind of enjoyed that. And then rather than the regular French fries, they had these slightly thicker fries, and they were seasoned. And I enjoyed the seasoning and the thicker French fries. They were like right on the edge of being properly cooked, and were just a little warm. They weren't really hot. So, and then the table next to me, there was like a mix-up with their order, and so it's just a weird experience. But for the price, just to sit down and kick up your feet and have some air conditioning, that was actually pretty good. So this is weird. So we have the sign for Path of the Jedi, and I don't know when the last time Path of the Jedi was open. They should just take that down because I don't think it's ever going to open again. But then here they've changed this sign into a little advertisement for Muppet Vision 3D.
Stuff like that.
Which is good because even though that's an old attraction, people should go see it. It's cute. It has the Muppets. The Muppets are funny. The jokes are good. You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll kiss $5 goodbye. And you'll support the Muppets. Less than 5 minutes to meet Olaf. With Frozen 2 coming out in just a couple months, you think that line would be a little longer. I have a drink in my hand, otherwise... See? A drink. I have a drink in my hand, otherwise I would go see Olaf. Because 5 minutes. For those wondering, it's root beer. Now that I'm vegan, I don't drink a lot of soda. So when I do drink soda, I want something that is kind of a little bit of a, I don't know, sin's the wrong word, but guilty pleasure. So I want the good flavors. So forget that Diet Coke stuff. Root beer, Barks root beer, light ice. That's my order. All right, so over here on the right, they're building a new expanded version of the restrooms, I believe, which is needed. And then as you come around the corner, they're doing just a little bit more work on the sidewalk here. So I think they're, make this a little more friendly to accommodate more guests in this area. And then there's the baseline tap house, which is very popular, not just for the beers, but lots of good bar type foods in there. Charcuterie, the pretzel with beer cheese is pretty spectacular. I can't have the beer cheese anymore, but before I was vegan, I had it. It was very good. And of course, you can get some delicious beers right off the tap in there. So, I'm going to tell you, I was walking through Star Wars Galaxy's Edge earlier today, and just feeling, I mean, first of all, it was busy. The wait to get on to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run was about 70 minutes. They had the single rider line open, but it too got busy and they shut it down. So, and the stores were busy. There's a wait to get into a cantina, into Droid Factory. Lots of people walking around with lightsabers, like this woman in front of us. So, and then what I also saw that just warmed my heart was lots of people in costume. So you can't go full on Jedi robes, and you can't wear a mask, but you can wear the Jedi pajamas or whatever the hell you want to call it. You can dress up like Rey, or as one cute little girl did, she dressed up like BB-8, and all the characters interacted with her. She had the best time, and I had a great time just watching her have a great time. And my heart grew 3 sizes today just watching all that happen here in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's a mind. You have to shift your mind a little bit. That it's more than just a theme park land. It is really, you're coming here to visit this other world, this other planet, and you're engaging with the citizens and the Resistance and the First Order as they would be on Batuu in the Star Wars stories. So there's no photo opportunities. Instead, you might have a Chewbacca growling contest to see who can growl and sound the most like Chewbacca, which I saw earlier today. It was very cute. You might get detained by the First Order stormtroopers, or you might see the Resistance Fighter V trying to evade First Order officers. So you find yourself in the middle of the story, and I'd like to see more of that. I mean, there's small amounts of that right now, but when you encounter it, when you see it, that's the best part of being here. And so my hope is that when Star Wars Rise of the Resistance opens, which is right here. Hi, Michael. So I've never been here when they needed to use the virtual queue. But they do have signs at the entrance that tell you whether or not they are using the virtual queue. So maybe they have needed to use it, but today they didn't need it. It was pretty busy, but it wasn't that busy. It wasn't definitely so busy that you couldn't walk around if they didn't limit the number of people in here. So here is the entrance to that sound, that resistor is making sound. So here's the entrance to Rise of the Resistance. It's dark, but sometime between now and December 5th, when it will officially open, there may be some soft openings. A little later, my understanding is that things are going swimmingly on the attraction. There's some detail work, but the actual attraction parts of the attractions are in testing, so that's really cool. Now, the other really neat thing I absolutely love about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge are the cliff work over here. I mean, I'm just going to pause here for a minute. It's very blue, very, very blue on the Facebook Live, but it's kind of a turquoise here in life as I'm looking at it with my eyes. And, I met Zolt Hormeh, and there's an interview with him on our YouTube channel, or you can find it on the blog as a blog post as well. And he and his team were responsible for this sort of cliff work, this environmental creation. They not only did the cliffs, they did things like these benches over here that you can't really see right now because it's dark, but they did the spires, and they were also responsible for the Radiator Springs cliffs and the Pandora cliffs. And so that team kind of has grown and become more skilled as time goes on and able to create these things that, you know, it feels otherworldly, but it also feels very, very real, like that, So, anyways, I'm really, really impressed. And if you haven't been here yet, definitely make a point to come back here after dark and look at the cliffs during the day and come back at night and see how the different lighting and shadows play. It's pretty impressive. So here's one of the X-Wings. The other X-Wing is in the attraction. You won't see it until you've gone through the queue and they're about to blast off into space as a as a recruit of the Resistance.
Right there, Jerry.
And then here is this kind of forested transition between the Resistance camp and the Black Spire outpost, where eventually you might encounter the First Order. But you'll also see, the citizens of Batuans. And over here is the market, which is illuminated beautifully at night. Absolutely beautifully. And here's another example of the cliffs and how they light up so magically at night. The spire there. All right, so they actually have a photo pass out here. Going to take a holo scan of you, which will be available on your data pad later for download. But there's definitely elements of Middle Eastern and Moroccan bazaars, but at the same time it feels Star Wars. It feels like you're on a desert planet or on a planet far away. And if you stand here, in one spot long enough in the market, you'll hear little story elements going on. For instance, this unit right here, you'll sometimes hear a Wookiee, or a worker rather, going around in there, banging around, trying to do some work. And from up over here, I have heard a Wookiee roaring and clanging around like they're trying to fix something. So it pays to pause and just listen, and you never know what you're going to hear. So I'm going to keep going because the battery's kind of low, so I'm going to try and get through as much of this as I can tonight. Just kind of want to show off the nighttime elements. You can go to my blog and YouTube, and we've got other videos during the day, but I don't really have a good one walking around at night. So here's the Toydarian store, which I love, and again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time in here, but there's a whole, see that window up there? There's a whole story that goes on in that window. So if you just kind of stand near the register and listen, you'll hear the whole story. But also, if you look up in the store, you'll see the story of the Star Wars saga retold through toys. So we have the Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber battle over there. You have a pod racer. You have Millennium Falcon going through the asteroid field. You have Jabba's yacht, Star Destroyer. You even have from the Phantom Menace, the Nabooian fighters. So just so much to see, and if you don't pause and take it in, you're going to miss it. So, anyways, nighttime in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So the marketplace, beautifully lit. I love it. Here goes some stormtroopers. If you have not tried the popcorn, the Outpost mixed popcorn, you're missing out.
Proceed with hose gas.
There appear to be a lot of Alabamans in town tonight. I wonder if there's a football game. So the other thing about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is there's all these stage spaces that Imagineer has built in, and I think that's one of the untapped potentials of the land. I would like to see them bring in some little mini shows. V evades the First Order, or Rey is leading a search for other Force wielders. There's just all sorts of great opportunities to do these shows. They could have a pirate incursion. Could have a marketplace where they're sharing, selling little doodads or food. Oh, there's V. Oops, she's going right by me. Anyways, so that's how Star Wars Galaxy's Edge works. You're walking around and the stormtroopers go by you. They're detaining somebody with a lightsaber, and then you walk a few more feet and there's V rushing around, and she's going to rescue the guy from the stormtroopers. And if you want to follow along, you can, or you could just continue and go on with your life. Like go into Doc Undar's here and see some of the amazing high-end merchandise. So over here is one of my favorite places in all of Black Spire Outpost. It's a very popular spot to get your photo taken because right down below us is the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon. And I hear if you're willing to wait, you might even be able to pilot the thing. That's pretty cool. So right now this says standby wait time is about 40 minutes, which is probably true. There's no fast pass, so the standby queue moves pretty quick. And then there's also a single rider line, which also moves pretty quick and divides in half. Oh, I'm being followed.
Could be a droid tech. Probably need a droid.
All right. So the lights over here are pretty cool too. And you can't go over there, but I have seen some of the character actors jump on the other side of the fence and work on the Millennium Falcon, get it ready for launch. That's pretty cool. Of course, it's a very popular photo spot. As you can see, somebody that went through the Savi's Workshop lightsaber experience earlier today. Bringing their lightsaber out here and getting some photos with it. And in the background there's the queue. They're using some of the overflow queue area. And then down this way, just under that bridge, is the entrance to Uga's Cantina on the left. There's a little bit of a line to get in there. Right now it's a 2-drink maximum. And you may end up having to share your table with another party. But You can get in there and watch, listen to the music, take in the atmosphere, enjoy your drink, maybe buy a collectible mug, which is pretty cool. And down at the end, there's you can just barely see it. There's a first order ship, so that's cool. And up at the top of Docking Bay 7, there's another ship. You can see they were testing the engines there. So anyways, I really love this area at night. So this is a kind of a awkward user design over here. This is the ramp for wheelchairs and strollers, because otherwise you have to go all the way back down, all the way around the marketplace, and come back through Black Spire Outpost if you want to get down to the entrance for a Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Anyways, there's the exit. Hello, Carter. Have you been to Galaxy's Edge yet? Here's the main entrance. It says flight crews wanted. Single rider line is open. I haven't seen anybody go in it, so it might be pretty short right now, actually. They do also have some people going up the fast pass queue. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. So here's Millennium Falcon. It is, as you would say, life size. Look at that ramp. Looks like you can just walk right up there and board the ship. Fly off into space. Evade a few TIE fighters and save the day. So I'm going to head out. Oh, I'm going to exit the Toy Story Land exit. But there's still a few more fun details to see over here. So this is a popular photo pass spot. Look, we got four first order stormtroopers hanging around over here. So this first order ship in front of us here has not been seen in any Star Wars movie yet, but I think it's the TIE Fighter Enforcer. And if you've seen the trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, you'll see Rey running down a desert plateau with one of these chasing her. And then she leaps over it. And that's pretty cool. And occasionally you may see Ah, some ship just flew overhead. Did you catch that? Occasionally you may see Kylo Ren come up on that stage and they do a quick little show. I don't know if anything's going to happen right now. But I love the way it's lit up with the red lights. It's pretty fantastic. Over here is the blue and green milk bar. Definitely worth trying. I have not tried it with the alcohol. I may try it with the alcohol. That may improve the taste. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing like blow my mind either. So maybe it doesn't. Maybe it needs the alcohol. I don't know. So you got refreshers. And over here to the right is the droid shop. More troopers engaging in the front of the droid shop. And here, look at this view. I'm going to pause here so you can take it in. So you got the moon. You got some of the spires. You got the buildings of the marketplace there. That's kind of an iconic Star Wars shot, if I've ever seen one. All right. So we'll keep going here. So hard to see, but it's a crater over there with a crashed spaceship inside of it. It doesn't light up at night, so if you're not here during the day, you may not notice it. And then, like entering from the other side, there is this really smooth transition. It takes a little longer on this side, but you go from rock that's been blasted out with some sort of laser digging tool to more natural rock spaces, and then you transition out of the rock to just landscaping, and then bam, Buzz Lightyear. Dun dun dun. Hi, Brian. You're gonna be here in 2 weeks. We'll leave the lights on for you. We won't unplug everything. So, quite a transition from Star Wars to Toy Story, but it works. It's okay. I mean, it's not any rougher than any other transition in a Disney theme park. I do like the new kind of mini Toy Story land marquee here. And I also like how Alien Swirling Saucers is definitely better at night than it is during the day. Get a few extra lights in there. Not saying it moves any faster, but you know, there's a little more show when the lights contribute to it. So Buzz is on this side, on the space side, Star Wars. And Woody is on the other side, where they're going to be building a new Woody's Roundup Barbecue restaurant. So looking forward to that. It's being built in what was previously a backstage space. So it's a little hard to tell what progress is being made, but we do know they demoed the backstage buildings, and so hopefully they're doing groundwork and getting ready to go vertical. Who knows? Somebody should tell Disney that one of their lights is out. See that Tinker Toy set there? There's a lamp, a light, spotlight in that. That's supposed to be lighting that alien over there where Jessie is taking photos in front of. Someone call Disney and report a lighting crime. And Slinky Dog coaster. It's a great coaster. There it goes right there. I'm sorry. And there's maybe we counted like 6 or 7 different light shows. So the track lights up in different ways at night. So you can stand on the bridge, see how it lights up. And you won't be bored while waiting for whoever's on the coaster to make their way through the queue. Love the giant Luxo ball here. It's lit up nicely for night. Makes it a good place to meet your party or take a selfie. There's a giant queue for Toy Story Midway Mania that's never fully used, although there does seem to be people in the exterior queue today. I don't know if they're just holding people outside of the building. Looks like they're holding people outside of the building. But the queue to meet Woody and Bo Peep is pretty long too. Now, I have a ton of great detail on Jessie. I'm not going to get too close because these aren't my kids, but Bo Peep, I mean, has a ton of great detail. She's got the little doohickey on her arm and a band-aid on the other arm where her porcelain arm was broken. And if you remember the internet, you know, everybody was like, oh, she has this really creepy face, but it actually works in person, sort of. Still kind of creepy because it's plastic, you know, it looks porcelain, it's shiny, and her eyes are kind of a little bit thing. So, and the PhotoPass person for no reason is telling me to move along, which is ridiculous. So, anyway. I was not taking pictures of the kids. I was keeping it on the face of the characters. So, and there's Buzz Lightyear. So, it's nice and cool out tonight, but it's pretty sure it's torture for the poor actors that have to hang out in those suits when it's 95 or 100 degrees and 95% humidity in Central Florida. Anyways, there's Woody. And right on the other side of the little berm of bamboo there, that's where the...
a nice big Andy's backyard welcome.
Thank you, Andy. They're much nicer than that PhotoPass woman was.
There's a snake in my boot, but that's not going to stop me from welcoming all you new toys to Andy's backyard.
Nor should it. So, as I was saying, behind that bamboo hedge over there is where the barbecue restaurant's going to go. So, excited for that. Bring it on. Air-conditioned, sit-down, Toy Story themed service. Yeah, I think that'll do really well. All right, there's the moon again. And to our left, I think it's closed already, but to our left is Walt Disney Presents. And they have a special preview for Maleficent in there, which comes out October 18th. You can go to the blog and watch a couple special trailers and see how Angelina Jolie prepares for the world premiere, which is a pretty funny video. She's got a good sense of humor about herself, I think. And so I did go see the preview earlier today, and it's not that long, so you're not committing a whole bunch of time to it. And it does give you kind of the what's the word? The inciting incident for the movie. It's not that so Prince Philip proposes to Aurora, which, you know, sets a whole chain of events in motion, one of which is her mom, or his mom, or stepmom, is evil. So, anyway, and she's deliberately pushes. This is new, I think. I could be wrong. But look at these beautiful lampshades. So this area recently went down for refurbishment. Look at that. Those are kind of hidden Mickeys. I don't know if you could tell, but so look at that. Let me know in the comments if you think that that's a hidden Mickey. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes, that is a hidden Mickey on these Mann's Chinese Theater, Grauman's Chinese Theater themed lamps. There's one there, and there's one there, there's one there, and they've added all these fans here, and there's like little stanchions in the ground for a queue, but we're still like months off from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opening. So I don't know what they're planning to do here with this little area. Maybe it's a meet and greet? I don't know, but they are doing some more work on the facade over here. So took some photos. I'll have them up in a little update from the park later. But there will be the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular, and I think they're still doing the animation projection show as well, World of Animation, both of which are totally worth seeing. You can't stand up here on the stage, and you probably wouldn't want to, but if you're not recording, you know, you could be here and, you know, turn your head and see the projection on that building, and turn your head and see the projection on that building, and I think you'd be fine. But if you're recording, then you're going to want to be farther back. So walk backwards here and you'll see how far back you have to be to get in the Chinese Theater facade, which is easier to see since they took down 2 of the 6 palm trees, by the way. Yeah, Michael, I think it is a hidden Mickey. Someone alert the hidden Mickey guidebook. So I'm still going back, and now I'm at where the crosswalk is. So behind me is the crosswalk. It's where you can't stand because pedestrians are, and I can see both buildings fine, but the wide angle of my phone just doesn't quite capture both the side buildings. So if I go back to the other side of the crosswalk, it's a little better. So this is kind of where I like to stand, is just on this side of the crosswalk during the show. Kind of hold my phone up in front of my face, so I'm not like blocking the view of anybody behind me, but I'm high enough that, you know, I'll have a good view of the buildings, and this little extra space of the walkway between me and the people in front of me means that less of the show is being blocked. So, and then this is also, I mean, this, if you just want to watch the show in person, this whole area back to about, I know it's hard to describe, but here's one of the projection towers. If you go back any further than this, those trees over here on the right start to block that building, so you miss some of the projections. So I would not go back any further than this if I wanted to see either the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular or the World of Animation digital projection show, which I recommend you see both. So this is a large space between me and center stage up there, so you can probably fit, I don't know, 3,000 people in there. So the other little secret is people like to come up here and they'll sit down and wait for the show to start, and then like 15-20 minutes before the show starts, cast members make them stand up. That's when you want to just come up this aisle here or walk across and just either step in back of the line in front or sneak in on this side of the line behind somebody, preferably like behind somebody with a couple strollers or a wheelchair, so there's like nobody standing right in front of you blocking your immediate view. So Hollywood Studios closes at 10 o'clock tonight, and it was an extra magic hours this morning, which it is for, I don't know, the foreseeable future, I think through November maybe, for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They have the extra magic hours for hotel guests. So you can get here as super early and get on Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. I'm not sure how that's going to change in December, but that December 5th is typically a slow week, the week, but Thanksgiving is late this year. It's the 28th. So there may be a lot of people that just decide to book an extra long vacation and stay to the 5th. So maybe the week after it opens might be your best chance to get here and ride Rise of the Resistance with the least amount of wait. That's kind of I think the best plan. All right, I'm going to go. I had an absolutely fantastic afternoon at Hollywood Studios. Didn't ride a single thing, but saw the new Mickey's of Hollywood store. Saw some changes in Keystone's clothiers. Spent a good 3 hours in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, just kind of people watching and enjoying people interacting with the Star Wars story elements I talked about earlier in the live. So I think there's a lot going for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I would definitely recommend getting out here and seeing it. But I hope Disney just decides to layer in a little more entertainment, a couple more shows, a little bit more opportunities for guests to interact with people from the Star Wars universe, not just people selling something in the marketplace or in a restaurant, but actual Resistance people or First Order people. So I love these light up balloons. I'm not going to pay for one, but I love them. There's a Star Wars one. There's an announcement for Fantasmic. Love the neon of Hollywood Studios. Neon makes me happy. And I love Art Deco. So neon and Art Deco, although technically you wouldn't see a lot of that together at the contemporary time, they do work together here. There's Mickey, Disney and Company, or Mickey's of Hollywood as it's better known. you know, we'll just peek in there because why the hell not? I have a little video. I'm gonna do more video of this up on the blog later, but there's the Mickey's of Hollywood logo as you come in. They have just 2 register areas, 1 by each door. They got a whole bunch of Frozen merchandise out, even though the movie's not out until November. But they're ready for people to come up and empty their wallets. And there's this beautiful Art Deco design here. So I don't know if you can see on the floor, there's this kind of herringbone pattern, and then it switches to these architectural squares, and it goes on the floor and the ceiling from where you enter all the way through to the other end. So there's this continuity that drives you through. And then the other thing they've done is it's the new style Disney store where you can see from one end to the other. There's no shelves or anything blocking your view. The highest shelf is, my chest height. So you can look all the way across. That makes it easier to see stuff on the walls. There's, the stuff on the walls is here we have plush and toys. We have headwear and candy. We have this really cute Toy Story kids shirt that I want. It's a monorail made out of a milk carton. I mean, that's pretty creative. And then this aqua is the new it color, Arendelle Aqua. There's a little video on the blog and YouTube about this. Arendelle Aqua Crocs with Mickeys on them. I don't know if I'm going to pay $55 for these, but those are pretty damn cute. I'm telling you. More headwear, Loungefly purses. This is so awesome. Scrooge McDuck Loungefly. I don't think I would be ashamed to be wearing this around the park, although it's hard for me to wear things on my back, but that's pretty damn cool. I mean, come on. Scrooge McDuck. The little money bag. That's awesome. They got some really good people working in the merchandise side of things here. And of course, there's the Skyliner merchandise. R.I.P. Skyliner. Okay, it's not really R.I.P. It'll come back, but look at the coffee mug. Oh. $20 for that coffee mug. Hope you like your coffee. This is cool. I love this rainbow turbis. That's really neat. I'm not sure how efficient that top is, but oh, there we go. Maybe. It looks like that'd be hard to clean. And then the Halloween merchandise down here at the other end, because everybody loves Halloween. Oh, this shirt. How come this shirt's not available in adult sizes? Hello? And it glow in the dark.
Are you guys pass holders or DVCs? Perfect.
That's an awesome shirt. But I'd have to go through the incredible shrinking machine to fit in it. That makes me sad. On the other hand, these are great shirts too. Look at this. It came from below, the horror. Dare you to scream fear. And it's got the villains on there. You got Iago. And I forget the name of the eels. Ursula's eels. And then look at this Scar. Most terrifying Scar. You look scared. Be prepared. I tell you, Disney's merchandising people, they're on it. They are on it. If I wasn't already broke, I would be even broker buying all that merchandise. So, Well, that's it. I am going to sign off. Thank you for following me here tonight. I had a really good time.